is what my bookshelf looks like. Again, it can be Pearson, McGraw, Nelson, right? So the student finds the title, I want to read my economics book, I click on it, I've got my navigation via chapters, okay? And then I can scroll through. If I want to highlight some text, I just click the highlighter. If I want to drop in a little highlight and make a note, okay, I can drop that in, and I've got a little note down on the side, okay? So, I mean, really, really easy to navigate. You know, it's done a really good job. And again, the upside of VitalSource is that it's downloadable. It's not just an offline version, it's fully downloadable. So that means that it's on the student's machine as long as they have the bookshelf. And this is also accessible via like iPhone, iPad. They have apps, right, for Android and for Mac devices. So they can actually now read on the bus on their iPad or whatever.
And students can print from here as well?
Yeah, I think, now I'm not a VitalSource guy, but I would assume usually most of our stuff is like you can print 10 pages at a time. That's how we normally do it. So does anybody know?
Yeah, on the source?
But yeah, VitalSource.
It's only 10 pages.
10 pages. Okay.
10 pages at a time, so you can keep doing that. You can keep repeating that.
Yeah.
That's good, yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
thought. Okay, so it's just like ours, it's 10 pages at a time. Okay, we can print.
Do you know if the building code's available?
Through VitalSource, not as yet. It's because of negotiations with publishers,
Okay.
so we're not there yet. We're working on it.
So my understanding is that basically the students, and this is how the pilot worked in the winter. If the students were part of the pilot, they received an email that had a redemption code for their ebook in it. That was the VitalSource redemption code. They logged into Blackboard, they had the actual link to VitalSource, and then they could redeem the code. And I'll show you actually, I'll go back to my bookshelf here. And basically just in account, they click on redeem code, and then they drop that in. And again, you know, the Blackboard team had instructions for that put right on the site. So it wasn't even a link or anything. We had this discussion earlier. It was literally instructions, text right on the screen, which was awesome, and it said what this link was all about. So that's it, guys. I mean, that's all I got for you. I'll open it up to questions or thoughts, concerns. But you know, if you're using a Nelson product, that's what we would be able to provide. It's really, really quite simple from your end. All the work is pretty much done by myself and the Blackboard team. So, any questions, concerns? Pretty lively group.
What's the differentiation then between your textbook and the VitalSource textbook? Are they not the same books?
Well, it's the exact same content,
Okay.
but, so that's a great question. Let me show you. Our ebook is called the Cengage Learning ebook. And so we've actually created this based on a lot of focus groups we've done with students. The feedback we receive from students is that whenever you're reading online, it's really hard to scroll, right? So if it's continuous flash paper ebook, let's say where there's like 50 or 60 pages in a row, it's just exhausting. It's actually hard to read. So what we did is we created a book that looks like this, and everything's broken down. Again, the content's identical, but what we've done is we've broken the content down into more bite-sized pieces. So you'll see here, for example, this is like a 3-page chunk, okay? And so I can actually review these 3 pages from page 14 to 17, okay? I can, you know, make highlights. I can drop in a post-it note as well. And there's a couple other features we've added here. You know, like citations, for example. Usually English profs give me a standing ovation at this point. Nick, are you ready? So, you know, if you're expecting to write papers, we have MLA or APA examples of how to cite their sources, which is kind of cool. You know, they can, I appreciate that.
It's always just me.
It's always just Nick. We can zoom in, zoom out. So that's the difference. Is that we've just broken the content down. You know, separated the media, made it a little easier to study from notes.
Can you just see the whole book, like with nothing around it?
Well, so you can hide this, but that's as good as it's going to get.
That's good.
Yeah, everything is just by those pages. So that in a nutshell, guys. I know Notes was slotted for an hour. I crammed it into 16 minutes.
And Vital Source, they just get to see the book.
Well, Vital Source, yeah, again, looks like this, so let's go back here. Okay, so, I mean, we can actually make this a little bit smaller if they want. And this is what they see. So again, this is that scrolling model, right? Where
It's not like a Kobo where you just see.
No, that's right. Yeah, it's not like a page at a time you're gonna flip,
Yeah.
right? It's the scrolling model. So again, I think, I think there's benefits to both. The downloadable is a great option, for sure. But, if they're gonna be in our assets already, then we find a lot of students using the CLE book. And I mean, the CLE book's broken down into learning objectives as well. So it makes it really easy for the students to study, because if they're focusing on learning objective 5 and 6, then they know exactly where to find it. So that's it, guys. Questions?
Because I'm using did use the book, the ebook for the course that I'm in. And what is nice about using this one here is when you search for, if you have a work to do and there's a certain word, you can just do a search, and then it will bring you to every page that has that word. So it's pretty neat. You have assignments, stuff like that. It's pretty interesting.
Since all the students have this now, then as far as copyright is concerned, does it make it legal okay for us to post anything from this book on Blackboard?
That's a great question. So it would, like, the same rules apply to whether or not every student in your class bought the book and how much you were going to post, right? So my understanding is that you're allowed to use up to 10% of copyrighted content, right? Something like that.
True access copyright that the
Right.
college has paid for per student.
Right. So I think that's like the same rules apply. Yes. But yeah, I mean, now every student has, this is the biggest advantage, right? Every student now has it. They walk in on day one, and you can say, guys, open up your ebook, and we're going to focus on this part. I want you looking at this diagram, and now let's apply it. And so because everybody has it, right, you don't have to worry about, Timmy not having the stuff, right? So also, I mean, really, we're going to this more engaging experience in the classroom, right? Where a lot of people are calling it the flipped classroom, where you're now doing a lot more group work and things in the class, and then you assign, lectures even outside, right? So getting a lot more lecture capture use and things like that as a result of these pilots. For you guys, you might not be flipping the classroom because I think you're probably going to want to do some stuff in there, but you're just probably engaging already.
Brad, for students that want to print from this, then they need to go to the Vital Source platform, not to Cengage,
They can print 10 pages from the CL.
from yours as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's still a 10-page per from both. All right, guys. So you know what? I'll hang back if there's any questions. I'm not going to make you sit here for 40 minutes. So feel free to do what you want. But I'll hang back if there's any specific questions. And hopefully it was somewhat helpful, guys. I hope you're ready to jump in.
Can I ask you about, so if they're on the Cengage platform and they're adding some notes in there and some highlights, so when they save that and then they go to the Vital Source platform, are any of those visible there, or it's captured just within each cell?
Yeah, two totally different experiences, right?
Okay.
So they're basically going to pick the one they want to use.
Okay.
If they're a Vital Source user, that's where they're going to want to study and make their notes and highlights. If they're a Cengage user, or as I said, if the instructors are using the Nelson assets, chances are they're going to be in the course main anyway. That's probably what they're going to want to utilize.
Okay.
So it's just what the instructor is doing, I think, more so. But yeah, they don't integrate at this time. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming.
Everybody sign the.
I don't think I've ever seen this.
I gotta go,
I
sure.
don't see if I had it, because I think.
I'm on.
So, do you want to go get lunch now and then go do this last one?
Yeah.
Instead of doing it during lunch?
Yeah, sure.
Well, the next one you can do just at one.
Or we can even do it now.
Yeah, is there a room somewhere?
or I don't
Might be in the
know.
middle.
Depends on how long they want it to.
Yeah, they might be.
But I think they wanted the whole thing, I think.
Yeah, they
Commissioner
want the
Library
whole
want the
thing.
whole
She
thing,
was-
so you're better off to do it at one and
We
then.
could just go and do the lunch thing, have a little break and then go do lunch.
Yeah, I
and
can
then,
go
we'll
help
come
out
back
at the
at 1
store,
and
too.
film that and-
Because Debbie's leaving at 11, so if I have a little bit of time, maybe I can go help out there, have a quick lunch. Because I don't know how, I think they're a little bit short staffed today.
Getting access to.
So are you going back to the store, you say?
Well, at 2 for sure, but
Okay.
I don't know, I'll have lunch, and then depending on how much time we have, and like if it's like about a half hour to an hour, then I may as well go back and see if I can do anything there, and then come back up
And we have.
at 1.
Did you guys see Larry Weathergen yet? Like,
I saw him a while ago, but
Yeah, same at,
since he got back from the meeting,
Yeah.
you mean?
Yep.
Oh, okay, so he's around somewhere.
So are we talking about?
So you guys